All righty, we'll go ahead and get started. First, we'll have Eric Weldon, Salt Lake Tribune.
When you guys miss 20 or so consecutive shots in the first quarter, not your best offensive first half, and then Donovan comes out in the second half pretty electric, winds up scoring 30 plus after halftime. What really kind of sparked the turnaround there, and what did you see out of Donovan specifically?
Well, I thought for the most part, the looks we were getting early were good shots. I thought we were a little bit rushed, and I think as the game progressed, we settled down a little bit more and started, attacking the paint. We don't have to take quick threes all the time. If the ball can break the paint, we can still generate those shots. But I thought we settled in. Thought Donovan settled in, and as much as anything, I thought we threw ourselves into the defensive end. And we've talked about trying to continue to push the ball and move the ball. When we struggle, it's when the ball stops, and they're so good, defensively, staying in front of you. If the ball stops, it makes it a lot harder. But we've had games where we've not shot it well. And, those are the kind of games you have to rely on your defense. And, that the thing that I, really am pleased with is that we didn't stop shooting. So, and we tried to get better looks, and we got a few more easy buckets, particularly on the offensive glass. I thought our offensive rebounding really helped our offense.
Sarah Todd, Deseret News.
Quinn, can you talk about the defensive effort of the guys down the line? I mean, Bojan, Jordan, Fave, how they kind of picked up their intensity, especially in that second half.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the playoffs. And, those guys had a feel for, what's needed in a game on that level against the team that's as good as the Clippers are. And as the game progressed, I thought we did a good job, of talking through some situations, that we touched a little bit, but, kind of happened on the move. And that's always, a really good sign that your guys are dialed in when they're communicating like that. And, making sure we're trying to run someone off a 3-point line when it's a 3-point game, switching a back screen when you have to, just lots of little things like that, that really make an impact. And so our focus and concentration on that end, not only our competing, but just our ability to execute at the right times was really important.
Tony Jones, The Athletic.
Coach, just, piggybacking off of, the physicality defensively, how important was it for you guys, that initial push in the second half to kind of get back in the game and kind of just see something good over an extended period of possessions?
Yeah, I think, we hadn't shot well, but I didn't think we were defending poorly. I thought there were the couple situations that we didn't handle well where they made some really good reads and were getting some open shots. But, this is a series, and you can't get too high or too low. Obviously, this is one game. I think every game you kind of have to approach the same way, that, you've got to play throughout the 48 minutes. And, our guys obviously, kept their focus and we're able to do that and play a little better in the second half. But, we've got our work cut out for us. We've won one. That's great. But as I said, I don't think you get too high or too low, especially when you're playing a team that's as good as these guys are.
Ben Anderson, KSLSports.com.
Quinn, it seemed like you were really on your team to try and get them to push the ball quickly off makes and misses. What did you see from your guys when they did that?
Well, I think the initial thrust for us into a possession allows us, to make quick decisions. And as I said before, when they lock in on you, there's, whether it's PG or Kawhi or Batum, Rondo, right down the line, their wing defenders are really good. And then when Morris is up and he's moving his feet. So, to the extent that we can try to get the ball up the court quickly. We're not having to play against that length as much. And that's part of how we've played this year. So there, as I said, this morning, some of this is it's not a lot of mystery to it. It's just a question of execution. And obviously, there are adjustments and nuances and all those things. But, I think the biggest thing for us that we're going to try to keep doing is just try to keep competing and try to keep executing.
Tim McMahon, ESPN.
Quinn, what is it about Donovan that gives him the capability to just take over playoff games with the scoring?
Well, I said it, I think, the third quarter, interview where he's really competitive but he's also really determined. So, I don't think he was feeling great tonight. His ankle was fine. I think he wasn't feeling great physically. He was a little nauseous. He was a little lightheaded, and he's just not going to accept that. And that's what I told him. Is that and that's where his mind is. It's like there's nothing that he's going to let get in the way of that focus. And he's also able to make he's made adjustments throughout the course of the game. He's a smart player, and he studies. So when he's doing something, that maybe isn't as productive, he's able to make subtle adjustments, and I thought he was able to do that tonight. And then the other thing is he's not afraid to fail. He'll take the next shot, and, we want him to take open looks. And if he misses a few of them, they're good shots, and keep taking them and keep attacking. And, that's who he is.
Josh Newman, Salt Lake Tribune.
When specifically from three, when it's a tough shooting first quarter, a tough shooting first half, how important was it to stay the course and not stray from what's been working all season?
It's really important, and it's important for us because it's who we are. If Joe Ingles goes 1 for 8 like he did tonight, like, honestly, I'm happy. I'd rather him go 1 for 8 than 1 for 1 or 2 for 2. And it takes a degree of mental toughness to continue to take those shots. I think it also takes, some smarts to understand, how to get better shots, but that doesn't mean that you stop shooting. And, you hear it all the time, when teams are missing, you say, hey, stop shooting, get to the line, get to the rim. And I think those things are true. I just don't think you stop shooting. I think you get to the rim and you get to the line, and you keep shooting. And, whatever combination those things, come in, I thought our guys, had a pretty good feel for that balance. And if we're getting good looks, there's no reason not to shoot them. If you look at, how we play, and, if we pass those shots up, the likelihood of us getting a better shot throughout the possession goes way down. We also have a chance to turn the ball over. We may not have a chance to offensive rebound. So there's a lot of things that go into it. But I do think it's a mindset that you can't get discouraged. And you have to believe, and that's who we are. And we need to double down.
Okay, last question will be from Joe Varden, The Athletic.
Hi, Quinn. I was actually going to ask about the third quarter exchange you had with Donovan that was caught on camera or whatever. You said to him, you just keep getting your mind right and it overcomes everything. My two questions would be, were you referring to him not feeling well? Is that what you guys were talking about? And then was there a previous conversation? Like, did you broach this subject at halftime or, at any point before that little exchange?
Well, one of the things that I love about coaching Donovan is the communication that you get to have with him. And that's something for a coach that's unique. And, you know, when I say that, it's an exchange. You know, there's things that, you know, that he's talking to me about, that we're discussing, you know, even the times for a few games when he was out, you know, that was something that we were talking about, and how important it was. So, you know, if there's anything that I feel I can help him with, I want to, and there's plenty of things that, you know, that he helps me with. So, you know, I don't recall any, you know, any specific, you know, watershed moment with anything. I just know how hard he's competing. And, you know, and that to me, when you understand that about someone, you know, you just want to encourage them to keep their focus. And that's really all I was saying to him. And he's probably said it to me more than I've said it to him.
Okay. Thank you so much, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Thanks.